Hello, I'm Marian. I should be telling stories at Mill Road Winter Fair this winter. But even though there's no winter fair, we can still have stories. This one's a Christmas one from Germany, a long time ago. And in those days, old Auntie Tonta was busy cleaning her house, because she knew that in those days, around Christmas time, Christkindl walked through the world looking to see who was good and who was happy. And she knew that if your house was perfectly tidy and beautifully decorated, Christkindl might visit and fill your house with light and warmth and happiness for the whole year. So old Tonta, she was busy. She was sweeping the floors and polishing the windows and washing the dishes. What kind of things do you do when you want your house to be really tidy? And then she looked up at the ceiling. Do you know what she saw? Spiders and spiders' webs. She couldn't have that in her nice clean house. She got her brush and she swept those spiders' webs and she swept the spiders off the ceiling onto the floor and out the door. And don't come back, she said to them. And then, when her house was completely tidy, she brought in the Christmas tree. She started to decorate it with all her pretty things. Look at all the lovely things she's collected. I wonder what you put on your tree. So when the tree was all decorated, Tonta lit the candles, she put a log on the fire, and then she just sat down in her chair for a few minutes' rest. But she'd hardly been there at all when there was a knock at the door. She opened the door and standing outside there was a child. Could have been you. And the child said, "Tonta, I saw your tree through the window. Please, can I come in and look at it?" And Tonta said, "Well, if you wipe your feet really carefully on the mat so the house stays clean, yes, then you can come in and look." So the child wiped her feet. She came in and she looked at the tree. She said, "Tonta, this tree is so beautiful. Could I ask my friend to come? If it was you, I wonder who you'd choose to come and look at the tree with you. Call their name out now." And so the child brought their friend, and that friend brought another friend, and that friend brought another friend, and till all the children were looking at the tree. And one of the children said, "Tonta, could I bring my mummy to look at your tree?" And Tonta said, "Yes, if they wipe their feet." So all the mums and the dads all came to look at the tree. And then another child said, "Tonta, could I bring my cat?" So all the cats came and the cats brought the dogs, and I wonder who the dogs brought. What do you think? And soon all the animals of the forest and all the birds in the trees, everybody had come to look at Tonta's tree. And when they left, they'd all wiped their feet so carefully, there was not a speck of dirt on Tonta's lovely clean floor. And Tonta, she was exhausted. She sat back down in her chair, and soon she was fast asleep. She was so fast asleep, she didn't see a light travelling through the woods. It was Christkindl. Christkindl, walking through the world on Christmas Eve to see who was happy and who was good. And he saw all the lights from Tonta's house. And he thought, well, I'll go and look inside. But as he got there, he heard a strange sound. He heard crying. I'm not very good at making the sound of crying. Maybe you could help me. Maybe you could join in. Are you ready? That's exactly what it sounded like. He looked this way, he looked that, he looked up, he looked down. Do you know who he saw? You've guessed it. The spiders. The spiders were crying. Oh, what's the matter? Asked Christkindle. And the spiders said, Christkindle, everybody has come to look at Tonta's tree except for us. We're not allowed in. And Christkindle didn't know what to do. He didn't like anyone to be sad, but he knew Tonta wouldn't be very happy if the spiders came in her house and spun their webs. Well, I'll open the door a crack and you can just stand in the doorway and look. But the moment the spiders got in the house, they ran right across the floor and climbed up the tree. And do you know what they did there? They did what spiders do best. They started spinning webs. What's Tonta going to say when she wakes up? So Christkindle did some magic. He turned all those spiders' webs to silver. And when Tonta woke up from her sleep, the whole of her house was filled with silver light, shining from the silver webs on her tree. And from that day to this, we've put silver tinsel on Christmas trees to remember the spiders. I hope you enjoyed the story. And wherever you are, I hope you have light and warmth and happiness in your house in these dark days of winter. Thank you for listening.